Well, shooters and reloaders, today we're going to do a runout test on the MEC Marksman press to see if indeed it gives us low runout in our ammo. To design this test, we're going to do the following. Now, you know in previous testing that with factory new Lapua 308 cases, we're getting 0.6 MOA with our Savage 11VT heavy barrel rifle in 308 caliber. And that load is 44.7 grains of IMR 4064 powder in these Lapua cases that we've already got primed with Remington large rifle primers. And these cases have all had their necks sized with the Lee collet sizing die, plus the usual chamfering and deburring have been done, and the primer pockets have all been uniform. But these cases have not been fire formed in the Savage rifle, and it's nice that we can use factory brass and get 0.6 MOA without having to go through the fire forming stage. Now for bullets, of course, we're using the SMK's 168 grainers. We're going to go ahead and charge a case with 44.7 grains of 4064, and you hear the Hornady running to dump another powder charge, so it's going ahead with that. And you hear that it's just done another one. So we'll go ahead and load another case and let it dispense another one. Now we programmed the Hornady automatic powder dispenser to slow down and throw a charge of 44.7 without getting too many overcharges. And a little more. There it goes. That's a good one. Now also, as our common practice, the RCBS 510 scale set for 44.7 grains, and you see, they agree. I'll just take that charge out of that pan and put it into one of the cases. There's another good charge. So here you see the Forcer coax being used with a Lee seating die, and we're gonna go ahead and seat these bullets to 2.758 inch overall seating depth length. So there you go. That's 3 of those with this die. Now we're going to take this die out and put in the Forster inline bullet seating die, and go ahead and seat again to 2.758 with this die. And this die gets this low runout, we'll see. So there we go, seating the last of the 3 with the Forster inline bullet seating die. So we have it adjusted for the right overall length, and we go ahead and run the round into the die and seat the bullet. There it is. So we'll do another one. Now we'll take this out and put in the Forster inline bullet seating die. So now we've got the Forster inline bullet seating die installed in the MEC. Go ahead and put in a round with the bullet and begin the seating. Now that's not enough, so we'll just screw the die in a little bit farther. So we're adjusting this to get the right COL, and we've got 2.7575. That's fine. So here's the Lee press now with the Lee die. It's the Lee custom cast press with the Lee seating die. And we've got it set for 2.758. There it is. So those three are done. Now let's take this one out, put the Forster inline seating die in, and do 3 seatings with that. So make the final adjustment, and we should be at 2.758. Look at that, 2.758. So now we'll go ahead and do the last one with the Forster inline bullet seating die, and there we go. That finishes up the testing with the Lee custom cast press. So here we go now with the RCBS rock chucker, and we're getting it to 2.758 with the Lee die. 2.756. Well, we overshot a little bit, but for the Runout test it'll be fine. If we're doing precision ammo, we wouldn't be going with all these presses. There you go. Now we'll take this one out and put the Forster inline die in and do the last 3. So now the Forster is in. .758 right there, bullseye. So there are all the seated rounds with 4 different presses, and we're now going to go ahead and check the runout of all of these and tabulate them and see how the MEC did. So what we're doing now is taking our NECO concentricity gauge, and we are actually measuring how much runout we got. That's 1/1000th. And that's practically 0.0005. So shooters and reloaders out there, these are the runouts in inches. Notice that we have a lot of them that are 0.001 or less. The 0.0005 is half of a thousandth. And there's one that had absolutely 0. The needle didn't even move. And the worst was one that turned in at 0.002. Now, why is this so low? We don't see any big runout here, and here's the reason. Start with very good brass, very uniform brass. Lapua is among the best brass we can get. Then we use the Lee neck sizing collet die, and what this die does is the mandrel goes through the flash hole, and that centers the mandrel on the axis of the case, and then when the collet squeezes the neck onto that mandrel, then that neck is concentric with the case. This die gives us low runout, and it's cheap. This is one of the winners that Lee has produced. So among the engineering winners that Lee has produced is the Lee neck sizing collet die. They like it so much they put it on the front of the reloading manual. Next important factor in the low runout is a good inline bullet seating die, and the Forster is among the best. Now this die is fairly expensive. It's in the $70–80 range. Not like the Lee collet neck sizing die, which is in the $20 range. Amazing. So let's see what the runout results are for the presses. and coax press with a Lee seating die 0.001 inch average. With a Forcer die, it got 0.0008 average. So the total average for the coax press is 0.0009, or less than 1/1000th runout. Pretty impressive press with that Forcer die and the Lee neck sizing collet die. Now the MEC press gave us a Lee die average of 0.0008, and the Forcer die gave us 0.0005. And the MEC turned in the only zero runout of all. The needle didn't even move. So the average overall with the MEC press was 0.0007 inch. Now with the Lee press, we got the Lee die giving 0.001 inch, the Forcer die giving us 0.0008 inch, or an average of 0.0009 inch, the same as the coax press. Amazing. And at less than half the cost. Less than half the cost of the coax. Now the RCBS rock chucker turned in overall 0.001 inch runout, which is still pretty darn good, but it did real well with the Forcer, 0.0007. In defense of the rock chucker, that press happens to be over 40 years old and has been heavily used. Even then, the average runout of 0.001 inch is very impressive. So do these various implements make a difference? And the answer is most indubitably. Bye for now.